Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach. This other Daredevil and Nocenti book. Then I remembered that she had a great Christmas issue, so I went to go look up what that one was. When I looked it up, I found this article that apparently 13th Dimension runs every year. They've been running it since 2014, and it was written by Ann Nocenti, A Daredevil Christmas. And Anne says, sometimes I do stupid things that turn out okay. One year, I broke up with my boyfriend a few days before Christmas, and when that festive day came, I had nowhere to go. I was living in Chelsea in New York City, not far from Billy's Topless, a pub known for its strippers and knife fights. On Christmas Day, I watched the world pass by my window. Everyone loaded down with food and presents to bring to Christmas dinners. What an alienating feeling to have nowhere to go. I was going to hide all day, pretend Christmas never happened that year. But there was no food in the fridge. Or rather, there was the usual dregs of what consisted of my idea of cooking in my early 20s. 6 packs and cold pizza. So I took a walk. Nothing was open but Billy's. What the hell, I thought. Why not go in? They had some pathetic tinsel hung in the window that looked downright festive, as compared to the black lump of coal in my heart that day. So this is a picture of Billy's Topless, the bar that Ann Nocenti spent her Christmas in during Christmas of 1988. I had one of the best Christmases of my life in that pub. I met other unfortunate souls like myself that had nowhere to go on Christmas. A lovely, elegant woman who kept lying to us all, claiming a limo was about to arrive with her gentleman date, like Blanche Dubois. 2 brothers that fought bitterly about the implosion of their family. A few blind men from School for the Blind housing around the corner. As I drank rounds with these strangers, I thought of the comic I was currently writing, Daredevil. I was planning a story arc that was going to blow up Matt Murdock's life. I thought, damn, he could end up here at the end of that arc. So in the spirit of the camaraderie of that day, I wrote a little tale for a Daredevil story that came out a year later called A Beer with the Devil. And here's the absolutely beautiful, shitty newsprint. God, it looks so great. I was going to break my rule of not using, pirate versions of comics to base videos on. But the pirate version, unfortunately, is just the same version on Comixology. So it's starting off, getting you into the Christmas spirit. So you have all these happy couples excitedly going home for Christmas. So then here's the bar. And again, let's compare it to the actual bar. So this is the actual bar, which is quite different than the address is 88, which would have been the year this actually happened. The young couple in love walks by the bar and says, "Look at that bar. I can't believe it's open on Christmas. What kind of horrible, rotten person has nowhere to go on Christmas? No family, no friends, no place to spend Christmas. Guess you'd have to be a real stinker." So then we go in, and then we meet the characters that Ann Nocenti described from her real life experience. And Daredevil is there as well. Now, I actually forget the exact storyline. I think it was a Typhoid Mary storyline that had wrapped up right before this, but he was not doing so hot. He's at a bar. He's alone. I remember these types from when I briefly lived in Manhattan in the early 1990s. By the time I lived there in 2017, they were mostly gone. Everyone looked like they smoked even if they didn't. Everyone was old even if they were in their 30s. This was very, very much New York of, the late 80s, early 90s. So then we meet the old woman who's saying the same story that Anne experienced in real life. The brothers who are arguing. And then something amazing happens. It's the devil. So then the devil asks if anyone is sitting in the chair next to Daredevil. We see that everyone sees this devil character differently. Now, when we see what I'll call most likely the version that Daredevil is experiencing, the devil looks more female, but you see other versions where the devil looks fairly androgynous, got a pretty large jaw right here. So the brothers who are arguing notice the old lady, lying about her gentleman caller as a way to flirt. Next thing you know, she'd be flirting with you. All right, Hugo, enough. Poor lady's probably just lonely. Yeah, lonely for anything that moves. want to direct your attention to right here. There was obviously room enough for it to be she'll be. Next thing you know, she'll be flirting with you. And then somebody whited that out to make it kind of patois. So then the devil starts talking about what brought her here to this bar. I'll tell you why I'm here. I betrayed my husband. He left me. So I find myself alone on Christmas. Have you ever betrayed anyone? Yes. And I'm paying for it now. Wasn't it fun though? A horrible kind of fun. The kind of fun that makes you hate yourself. I'll miss my husband. We've been together for an eternity. We traveled all over the world. I remember him on the beaches in Cuba in 60, 61. Guatemala in the 50s. We had a ranch outside Dallas in 63. Married in 1960. You don't seem that old. Sometimes you draw lines for yourself that you won't cross. Then it seems as if you only drew them to step over them. Do you think that stealing $1 is as bad as stealing $1 million? Yes. Maybe worse. This exchange between the devil and Daredevil, I have thought of so many times through my life. I find all of the aspects of it so fascinating, especially these questions. The idea of stealing $1 is as bad as stealing $1 million. And Daredevil says, maybe worse. I interpreted that as, if you steal $1 million, it's probably for something. It's some reason. You're going to do something with it. But if you're stealing $1, you're just stealing just to steal. So then we cut to the brothers and it's getting worse. They had a little bit of fun after talking trash to each other, but now you see a lot of beers. And again, I want to just emphasize how good this art is. This is one of the most difficult things to do as an artist, to do this acting, to take something that is supposedly boring, two guys sitting at a table, and making it extremely dramatic. So the good brother says, I guess I always hated you, Hugo. I mean, you went out, you got drunk, you had girls, you defied mom and dad. Me, I wanted to do those things, but I couldn't. I couldn't defy them. I'm so jealous of you. Gosh, Hector, I didn't know, and I'm sorry, but I just couldn't stand their rules. Just like if I'm having fun here, I don't feel like I have to go over there for Christmas dinner. So the old woman who's been flirting with everyone and lying about, a gentleman caller coming to pick her up, this old creep says, hey baby, you spin that magic, you got it delivered. She says, but the telephone, I'm expecting a call. Yeah, right. That kind of call should have come 20 years ago for you. Nah. All you got is my type, and we don't waste our quarters. Then this old guy says, I just saw a mugging right outside the bar. So what'd you do? Do? Nothing, I watched. What'd I do? What a joker. What am I supposed to do? I see some big evil thug I'm supposed to play hero? And then he sees the devil talking to Daredevil and sees him as the mugger that supposedly he just saw outside. The devil goes on, do you think it matters if you betray or you don't? If you cross a line or you don't? Can one person's acts really make a difference? You're a hero. Think you make a difference? Think with your finger on the scales you could ever shift the weight of evil over to the other side, even a fraction? This is where it gets really good, and I want to show both pages at once. So Daredevil is being seduced and distracted, while the two brothers are building to a fight that was probably inevitable, but seems to be ratcheted up by the presence of the actual devil and the inaction of Daredevil. So then Daredevil comes out of his reverie when the entire crowd sees what apparently is a murderer. And the devil says to him, well, look at this. Money up and down the bar. Unattended cash. Yours for the taking. No one will notice. Why don't you take it? Daredevil says, why would I do that? Why do you ask me questions like that? About crossing lines, about betrayal. Why do you seduce me? You seem so young, yet you were in strange countries in all the wrong years. Young, yet old, full of cryptic talk. Where is everyone? And then he knocks her across the bar. And we see the brother mourning the brother that he killed. Daredevil saying, what? When did this happen? And then one of the characters from the bar says, just now, right behind your back. Thanks for the help, Daredevil. I guess you were too busy swapping germs with that guy. And then the devil changes his form. So he starts teasing Daredevil for not turning the other cheek. So the devil says, I've been watching you. I saw your pathetic betrayals. I heard the sound and fury of your moral voice, your squeaking confusion over the ethical universe, your hypocritical whining over the violence in your life, the lawyer in you always finding a loophole for your selfish self, your self-indulgent cries after you died and didn't want to be born again, you poor wretched baby, all your petty human strutting, all the fly buzzing of your thoughts, all signifying nothing. How it all made me laugh. What a grand entertainment you have been to me. Do you see, Daredevil, how immense evil is? The thing I love about heroes is that they've so far to fall. And then Daredevil lands in a bunch of snow-covered trash in an alley. Two of the patrons of the bar are outside. It apparently wasn't destroyed, although one would assume that the murder still occurred. And all of their delusions of a gentleman caller and this guy who had bragged earlier about leaving his wife 10 years ago, the sad reality is that they're heading over to the soup kitchen to get dinner. And they invite Daredevil over. He says, sure, if that's the spirit, we'll have us a fine meal. So this is a fantastic story, not just a fantastic Christmas story, but a fantastic Daredevil story of his entire run. The themes, the questions posed in this story have influenced the way I see the world, have come back to me at crucial times in my life, and I'm sure that they always will. Comics can be amazing. You can sit there during an afternoon or an evening and write a story that will have an effect on someone's entire life, that can help mold their character. Very, very powerful stuff. And when you write a story like that, it endures forever. It's a legacy. You will live beyond your years through your stories, through the effects they have on people. Somebody will read this story in 100 years and be affected by it and be molded by it. Amazing stuff. A classic. So anyway, go check it out. Daredevil issue 266. And on this very strange Christmas, there's a lot more people spending it alone than usual. Billy's Topless is unfortunately closed for those wayward souls on Christmas. So anyway, Merry Christmas to everyone, and I'll have another video up tomorrow. Thanks, bye.